Flytanium put out an upgraded version of the Zenith. That's right, and we're gonna talk about it today, so stick around. You're definitely gonna wanna see this.
Never let them tell me who I am. I am always gonna be my own man, and that's on God. That's on God.
What's going on? It's your boy Mills from Mills Flips, back with another balisong review, and this time on the Flytanium Zenith version 2.0. Now, I wasn't around. I've only been around for 2 months, and still this whole process of me making content is also a big part of me tracking my flipping journey as I get better. And so I wasn't around when the first Zenith came out, but I heard that there was a lot of potential with the Zenith, the original one, but there was also a lot of feedback. And Flytanium has very publicly said they took a lot of that feedback to heart when making this guy and wanted it to be the improved version of the Zenith, sort of its final form. And when I saw it drop for the price point that it's going at, I had to get it to review for all of y'all, especially because the first comment I ever had if someone asked me to review something was this guy. Now, we actually did a full first impressions unboxing video on this as well, but in just a moment, we're gonna drop down low, show you everything this came with, tell you the stats and specifications on this guy, do a little bit of flippity flip with it, then we're gonna come back up here and give you our final thoughts. Alright, so we've dropped down low to take a closer look at that Flytanium Zenith 2.0 as well as the packaging it came with. Now, I did an unboxing with my GoPro. We'll have that video popping up somewhere if you want to see the full unboxing experience on this. This is just to give you a sort of general indication of what the unboxing was like. There's the box on this guy. Very nice. Has all the stats and information on the side of the box, which we can go ahead and talk about now. It's got bushing pivots, 775 aluminum anodized handles, speed channels, a bite side indicator, which during the unboxing I could not figure out where it was, but we'll show that to you. T10 pivots, and it says improved balance compared to the previous iteration, the Flytanium Zenith 1. Inside of that, we've got a little bally boot. You know, you put this on the balisong down here, preferably when it's closed, and you kind of loop this around your belt loop. That's what these are for. You could probably put it on your wrist if you wanted as well. Then we've got all our different extra hardware in there. There was also a sticker that came with this guy, but I already put that on my bally case. Now to take a look at the balisong itself. So, like it said, on the side of that box, we do have some speed channels in that anodized aluminum, 7075 aluminum, that is. Those T10 pivots right there. I will say one thing, and we'll talk about this more up top. Let me clear some of this oil off. Everything that I review, I use a lot before we do the final thoughts sort of review. But this nipple thing up here is very big compared to a lot of other balisongs, and it just kind of sticks out comparably. It doesn't really get in the way, but it has gotten in the way a few times for me, especially when doing different transfers between fingers sort of tricks. On the handles themselves, we do have some jimping on the sides, as well as you have this cutouts on the front that do definitely help with the grip. I will say, compared to other aluminum balisongs, it has a G10 sort of feel to it. I don't know how else to describe it. Not a bad grip at all. Don't get me wrong. It has very good grip, but it does have sort of that chalky feel to it. We open that up and there is that blade. We got the Flytanium logo on that blade, that dagger sort of look to it. And I have dropped it a few times, and so there is some little dings on this guy. You probably noticed that on the bottom of the handles the most. You can see a couple little scratches and dings. Very cool look. Love the design of this blade, but yet it has this cutout, so it's still somewhat public friendly. Now, the bite side indicator that I was talking about, it's very hard to notice. So one of these sides, as you can see, is more rounded with a cut, and then this other one, you sort of have a sharper edge. It's not as rounded. It is very subtle. I've still been using a bite handle indicator. I use that on everything anyway, even if it's pretty obvious and there's a bite handle indicator built in. This does come in 5 different colors. You can also choose between this black coated or a stone wash blade finish. I think this looks very good. It has a very good look to it, and for 60 bucks, it's very high quality and premium feeling, that is for sure. But now that we've given you an up close and personal look at the Zenith 2.0 trainer from Flytanium, let's go ahead, do some flippity flips, go back up top and talk about it. 7 weeks flipping, Zenith 2.0 from Flytanium. Let's see what we got.
to trust anything that brings them happier dreams. Look to my past, what hasn't killed me makes me stronger. If I'm clearing off my plate, then I get hit with one more problem. It's not all bad, much good in my reality, but it's hard to see the good when you are facing your mortality. For now I'm keeping patient, moving through the matrix. Wait for a vacation from this place of isolation, no complacency. Wear this mask upon my face, to hide the fact I feel this way. How'd I feel this way? I wear a mask upon my face so you can still see a smile, but the smile is fake. Try to numb all the pain and all the Henny in the world don't make it.
All right, so we are back up top from taking a closer look at this Zenith version 2 from Flytanium, and now it's time to talk about it in our opinion. So first and foremost, some of the positives, because this does have a lot of positive, but it also does have a couple negatives too. So for the price point, the fact that you can pick the blade and there are many colors for the handles to pick from as well. There's two different blade colors, this black and more of a stone wash look, and I think it was 5 colors for the handles, does give somewhat of a customizable experience, albeit limited because it's not like, say, BB Barfly where you could pick multiple handle colors, or Zippy Balisongs where you could pick spacer colors and blade insert colors or anything like that, but you do get to customize your experience a little bit. They added a bite handle indicator, which is great, although I will say it is very hard to tell. Still to this day, I'm having issues. It's supposed to be a little bit more pointed on one side right here rather than rounded, but it is obviously great that they tried to take the feedback from the first version and make this a better experience for people who said they wanted a bite handle indicator. The handles themselves are anodized and they are very, very grippy. When I first got it, it had a weird chalky feeling to it, but over time after I used it, that chalky feeling did disappear. That must be from the oils on my hand and oiling up the blade and pivots themselves. That eventually made those handles feel less chalky, but now they feel fine. It comes in at a great price point. With coupon, I believe, depending on which coupon you use, you can get this for around 50 bucks before shipping, and it still comes with that bally boot and the extra hardware, so that's an absolute steal from an American-made balisong, if you ask me, especially with the materials and such used. And it flips pretty good for the most part, especially for the price point it comes in at, but there are a couple negatives to this, and one of those being the short handles. So let me just compare it. Here's a BB Barfly Barracuda version 2, which we also recently got. You can see it's quite a bit shorter there, about, I don't know, not quite a 1/4 of an inch, I would say 1/8 of an inch. There we go. That's more of an accurate representation. Pretty big difference in the length of those handles from that. Or what else do I got near me, because we're doing review recordings today? I got the cycloid, which I get is 3D printed, but it's a lot shorter than that guy. And then this nipple sticking out the top here, it's not necessarily sticking out too much, but because it's not rounded, like say the Barracuda, since we already had that as an example, it doesn't stick out much more than this one on the Barracuda, but I think because of the shape of it, that's what can cause it to get in the way a little bit when you're doing things like rollovers, especially open rollovers rather than the closed Chaplin type rollovers. Its durability has been pretty good though, because it was on the cheaper end of things. I have used it sort of as my beater balisong, and I have dropped it quite a bit on pavement and such, and as you can see here, I don't really see much dings with the exception of the bottom of these handles. Now for the sound test, keep doing this wrong. Why? Why, Eric? Why? It's pretty quiet, and I've actually been using it as my quiet indoor flipping balisong when the kids are watching a TV show or something, or the dog's taking a nap and I don't want to wake them up. So that quietness is actually good in some circumstances. Now for value, this definitely gets a 5 out of 5. For flippability, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 because of those short handles and that nipple sticking out. I thought about giving this a 3 for flippability, but because it does have exceptional grip, that's why I went on with the 4. Now for design, because of those short handles and some of the other issues we talked about in flippability, I'm also giving this a 3 out of 5. That bite handle indicator issue value is also an issue. Like, they tried to improve it, but what they didn't really make it stand out much. I think they could have done a couple things. They could have made it more exaggerated. They could have made a different like color right here. They could have even like had a design like the Flytanium logo of a mouth, just like the bite kind of right there, telling us that's the bite handle. I think those are some ways they could have made it stand out in a simple, cost-effective way, a little better than it does. They shipped it out to me very quick though. From the time I got notification this was being placed to the time I got it, it took like 3 days, no joke. They're in the Midwest, I'm in the Northwest, and it got here in 3 days, lickety split. So value, 4 out of 5. Flippability, 4 out of 5. Design, 3 out of 5. Aesthetics, a 5 out of 5. It actually looks very, very good. Availability, a 5 out of 5, as of right now at least. So overall, I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. It definitely competes in the budget category, especially as a budget beater to carry around with you outside and stuff, because you know it's gonna flip good. It's not gonna bust down on you real quick if you drop it a few times. Kept its tune, all of that. Anyway, it's been your boy Mills from Mills Flips, back with another balisong review, and this time on the Flytanium Zenith 2.0, and I am signing out. Peace.
Never let them tell me who I am. I am always gonna be my own man, and that's on God. That's on.